right. This is The Wire, Season 2, Episode 9, titled Stray Rounds. If there's any noise in the background, if it's picking up any noise in the background, that's just me drying my clothes, multitasking, getting used to a new work schedule. Happy to be working again. How about that? So, let's see here. This episode, God, I'm a little emotionally detached from this particular episode because I watched it a couple of days ago. Maybe that's the wrong phrase. It's not exactly as fresh as it should be in my mind. I tried to skim over it and like refamiliarize myself with it. So bear with me. I guess I could talk about the hustlers from that side. You know, you've got the individuals who are still clinging to life from the last season or the previous season. You've got an individual who's in charge now who probably shouldn't be in charge of they call it the pits, I guess. He's a younger cat. He's taken over territory they shouldn't have been taken over. He's not understanding. See, people in that position or people with his mindset, they're a soldier. They're only, I hate to call him a crash dummy, but his only use is to go out there and bust heads or to be a scapegoat or whatever, something along those lines. He doesn't understand there's plays happening behind the scenes, which is something that I came across in my travels in the street life. Like, for instance, if an individual from one gang can't just go kill another individual from the opposing gang, even though they're sworn enemies or whatever, because the individual that you're targeting may have ties with somebody in your organization as far as getting money, and of course, money's over everything, right? Same thing in the mob. You can't like kill a made man or can't touch somebody who has protection. Whatever the case is, it's widespread all through organized crime. You can't just go around running around all willy nilly. You know what I mean? Shooting and carrying on, hooting and hollering. You can't do that. Which that guy doesn't understand because he hasn't been schooled to it and he's not in that position to understand it. I think maybe I'm overthinking his character. Stringer he's trying to make all type of moves by himself. Avon is pretty much absent in the last couple episodes, but Stringer's making all these moves behind the scenes, trying to do this, trying to do that. I feel like he's trying to make a name for himself. He's really trying to incorporate what he's learning in the business world, in his business classes, into this street stuff. But he's like burning a few bridges now, without really knowing. Like you're crossing people that you shouldn't be crossing, I feel like. And then there's an introduction of a new character, an individual who's come to like be an enforcer. But they haven't said too much about that character. He was at the end of the episode, so I'm waiting to see what, if anything, that character brings to the series, which I think I like. Yes, he was wearing a bow tie, so can't complain about that. Now, talk about the new hustler side. Now, the son of Sabaka, the liability that I've been talking about for the last couple of videos. He's upset that his I think it's his cousin, right? He's upset that his cousin is smarter than him at what he wanted to do, something that he wanted to claim as his own, which was selling the drugs. He's horrible at that, like he's at everything. Now he's, for some reason, it took him a while, but he was getting money from the drugs and other stuff, and he bought like a $2,000 coat, and he bought a fucking a goose and put a diamond necklace around it and fed it beer and alcohol and just weird stuff, right? Now, all of a sudden, he's come across the idea to get a firearm, which I'm like, oh no. When I see that, I'm like, bad things are gonna happen. I'm interested in the outcome of that character because I think I've said this in the last couple of videos that I've uploaded. I think he's either disaster waiting to happen, and I'm just waiting to see what type of disaster happens. Um, the older one, he seems to be moving along strong, I guess. He's the quiet type. It seems like he doesn't say too much, but he's tied into the characters that the elder Sabaka is dealing with, of course, on the smuggling side. And pull up these iBurger. Um, he's tied into that. Now, uh, they're on to the fact that somebody may be watching them or looking at their movement as far as what they're doing. So they've smartened up just a little bit, but it seems like they're right on the cusp of going back to business as usual. Um, Overall, I'm going to try and tie this up. I'm going to try to wrap this up. But overall, it seems like this season has been more of like a building, especially as far as the police side is concerned. I mean, every episode, you've got McNulty, you've got Bonk, you've got a cast of other characters, Kima, you've got Lieutenant, you've got these characters who seem to be just enjoying what they're doing, and I think it's real. I think the relationship they have with one another is genuine, right? At least that's the way I feel. At least that's the way I feel. I feel like the relationship between those guys and gals are genuine, and they're just enjoying their time. And I think from the standpoint of a TV show, it's like, hey, we've had success with the first season. We're getting a little bit more money in our pockets. Let's have some fun with this. I feel like, as far from that standpoint, and also from the standpoint of the story, they've all come from different places. I mean, Kim almost died. I mean, McNulty's been on the harbor. I mean, Bonk has pretty much been partnerless. Can't say the word. Without a partner. The other guys, everybody was pretty much scattered throughout the police department, and now they've got a chance to get back together, and not only probably some of the best work they've done in their careers, but the most fun they've probably had. But you've got two sleepers on the side of the police from the perspective of the police. You got two sleepers, not necessarily perspective. I mean, from that side, you got two sleepers in there. Two of the guys are like street cops, I guess. Those guys are willing and dealing for a dollar here and a dollar there. I mean, they're doing a little dirt, which I can't blame them. I think if I was in their position, I probably would do the same thing. And I don't see like anything wrong with that, because they're still doing their job. They're not neglecting their job. They're just getting a little extra. And they're not even doing it in a super malicious way either. It's wrong to steal, but oh yeah, I had to drink a little something. It's wrong to steal and be dishonest. I know that, but I mean, come on. I feel like these guys hey, you know what I mean? Now where else would I go with this? See, that's the thing. What happens when I don't watch the episode and make a video right after it? I have to try and remember everything. My nose gets a little irritated after I take a shower. I don't know why. Let me see here. I guess I should wrap it up right there, right? Because I can't remember anything else about this episode. Should I talk about McNutty? Well, I should talk about the fact that the character I was talking about at the beginning of this, the young guy who was taking control of the pits, there was a shootout at the beginning of this episode, and of course, innocent bystander gets hit, and there's this wave of police activity behind that, and McNulty goes in undercover, which is kind of like it's something to be said, at least something to be said there, because you've got the last season where Kima goes undercover, gets shot and almost dies. McNulty goes undercover and gets laid. He gets some from two different women. He bangs out two different prostitutes. Come on now. And he's like, "Oh, you guys didn't come in time." Come on, man. It's too much. It's comical. It's hysterical. It's funny. trying to find a bigger word to say funny. It's funny. I'll leave it at that.